Good morning. Sashi Poki Jokshin Me Talk Drum Rira Bling Shin Inde Genpadi Sange Shindu Mikte Wargi Jokun Namdak Shingla Druparsho Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami.
I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the Sangha, the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create, from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, may I attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the Sangha, the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create, from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, may I attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the Sangha, the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create, from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, I will attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's do some rejoicing. So, let's start. Who can start with rejoicing? Let's start with Mike.
Good morning. Thank you. I want to rejoice that I was able to go up and be a part of the third anniversary of DSCU on Thursday, this past Thursday. I played music uh, for like the celebration and got to meet like a lot of the Chinese Sangha, which was really cool and different and just like a whole different experience. So I want to rejoice that I'm seeing more um, more practitioners around me, and like meeting new people, and they're not just like ordinary, everyday, worldly people. That they're like Dharma practitioners. And yeah, and I dedicate that to everyone meeting more Dharma practitioners around them. Thank you.
Well, that's excellent. Yes, it's easy to, how do I put this? We tend to put Dharma practitioners into a separate category of people we meet or know. And I think that has its validity, but you never know who's practicing what. So I think we have to keep an open mind on everybody we meet. I'm trying to think of an example of that with, well, when you have what appears to be a coincidence and what we like to think of as an angel ripening, or um, how can we put this? When you see something special, that you can include that, and in my opinion, you can include that as being part of your sangha, because that karma ripening for that person to appear in your life is a result of your practice. And your practice is a result, at least for me, is a result of the sangha that I'm part of and working with. So meeting, it must have been interesting, Mike, to meet the Chinese version of the Sangha, um, because they have a very, to me, they have a very different, um, though I guess the word would be take on what it means to be Sangha. Did you find that to be true?
Definitely there's a lot of like cultural differences. Um, but like it was interesting. I noticed that there were similar there were similar people to I don't know how to explain it. It's like it, there were like similar roles, but they were different people, but they had like the same type of energy. Like there was a guy who was doing like the announcements and he had like similar like the joyful like fun energy that Juan has.
Hmm.
He had like a very similar like kind of like jovial, jokey, happy disposition. So it was interesting to see that echo.
Well, the cultural, that's the thing that I needed to be better at, and I guess I'll do better at hopefully in Phoenix, but the cultural differences are, well, it's easy to get wrapped into different, trying to differentiate between the two. And the enthusiasm that John Brady has for what he does is reflected in, I don't know what their name is, but the same kind of thing happens in China with their enthusiasm for opening up the country to the non-secular side of Geshe teachings, which I think is a remarkable, um, this whole DSEU, that whole business thing is remarkable because it's basically a stealth dharma. And I'm sure the Chinese know it, but uh, I just wish it all the success in the world. It's so different because they've got, and from my viewpoint, they've got access to much more funding than we have. The dearth of funding, the lack of interest by so many the similar types of people in our country um, has always amazed me. I don't understand why we don't have a similar enthusiasm in this country. Because in this country, we don't have to worry about getting in trouble for practicing. So you think people would be more than willing to support Geshe Michael's endeavors, and they really aren't, and to my knowledge. So anyway, so how much did you get when you play music? Do they give you a list of what they want you to play?
Yeah, they have like their own like a whole set list of songs that they play.
And you know when they ask you, you don't get, you don't find out you don't know the song.
Didn't really know most of the songs, but like I'm like kind of used to that with my old job of like all requests dueling pianos. It's just people giving me songs that I don't know, so I've learned how
Uh,
to pick up songs pretty quickly.
how do you pick up a song you don't know while you're on stage? Do they ask you to hum a few bars?
Well, they give them to me before and I listen to them, but then I have a program that you can pull up the chords and the lyrics, so
Oh,
everything's there. It's just a matter of being able to translate that into a performance on the spot.
and that's where your training on the dueling pianos came up. Okay. Well, okay, who's next? Let's go with Daria. What do you have to share with Rejoicing?
Good morning, Honorable Sumati. Oh, I rejoice. I think a lot of, because today I have a lot of mental affliction. I resentment for my colleagues and sometimes angry, but I try to do exchange myself with other and mm, on the other hand, I looked at myself and I did Tonglen with help, but I think my egg is one today
Hmm.
myself.
Well, it happens. As long as you're aware of it and you're struggling. I don't like to use fighting with it because that's the wrong connotation. It's like if you fight with it, it's because it's not fair or something like that. And that's not the case. It's not a matter of it being fair or not. It's your karma, so you need to deal with it. Um, there was a famous American author and I guess pundit. His name was I think it was James Thurber. And he once said, "It's my life and you're welcome to it." And I kind of like that. It's uh, it's an interesting viewpoint. Okay. So ego, yeah, egos. I've been struggling with ego for a little while myself, but we'll get to that later. Okay, Kadrin, what do you have to rejoice in? I'm not hearing her.
Hello, dear Sumati.
Hi.
Um, I rejoice that today we have class, and I rejoice that on Sunday we have meeting with Victoria and Svetlana and other people who belong together ACI, and it was such nice meeting, and we have good plans to have a small retreat, Lamri, Geshe. We think we can do it together uh, on the center.
I'm not, I didn't follow that completely. You had a meeting?
We have Sveta, can you help me?
You can speak Russian, Lobsang Kadrin will translate. And yeah, как in Russian or speak in English?
Да, что у нас была встреча и что мы хотим сделать, у нас есть планы сделать
I said that we had a meeting and we have a plan to have all together a retreat on Lamrim, on the teachings. Thank you.
Oh, well, great. That should be, well, we're going to be talking about the steps of the path for the next 3 classes, so that'll be quite timely. Okay, Katya.
Hi, hello everybody. I want to rejoice that I'm helping with Phoenix Retreat that is going to be on October. I'm helping with the registrations and the payments and with hospitality. And I want to dedicate it to so more people join the retreat and be benefit with these teachings.
Okay, now you and Sheila had agreed to kind of look after me. Is that going to be still possible with your duties?
Yes, we're going to take of you.
Okay, okay.
A lot of love.
Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to spending a little more time with you both. Oh, I've got a question. Roxana from Mexico says Sheila, I pronounce Sheila, it should be Shayla?
Sheila,
Shayla. Okay, I'll try and do that.
or it's the same.
Okay. Um, Svetlana.
Oh, hello, the Venerable Sumati. Hello, everyone. Uh, I also would like to rejoice that we had a meeting all together with Ekaterina and some other participants of the retreat, and it's very important to support each other, and it's so wonderful that we have each other and support in our practice. And also, I would like to rejoice that one of my colleague, who I perceived very grumpy, angry person, manager, today I saw him smiling, and I perceived as a like how to say in a good mood. And for me, it's like a good sign, so that I understand that it's coming from my seeds, and I'm rejoicing that I'm starting to see those people who were so much irritated, and I observed at least one time which I can remember exactly, or maybe some more times, but I would like to rejoice about this moment when I observed this person smiling, and dedicate that everyone can be happy and enjoy their life.
Well, you've done. The secret now is to find out what you did that made him smile, and then you can perpetuate that. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I see another person who's I can't pronounce this in Cyrillic.
Inna and Oksana.
Ina? Ina.
Троицкая.
Okay. Hi, Ina. What do you have to rejoice in?
Здравствуйте. Всем привет. Буду говорить по-русски, потому что
Hello,
английский только
everyone.
изучаю.
I will speaking Russian because I just started study English.
Кадрин, не слышу тебя. Знаете, я
You
была в
know, I
апреле
was in April, I was
на ретрите в
on a
Аризоне.
retreat in
И
Arizona,
последний день там было
and at last
сжигание.
day
И я
it
увидела
was
замечательного человека, такого
puja,
седоволосого,
and I've
красивого,
seen a
с
beautiful
очень
person,
добротой. Его
handsome
укрывали
with
пледом, и все к
gray
нему подходили. А для меня
bird,
вообще это
and
ощущение было
everybody
впервые.
come to
Я
him,
смотрю, что
and
это за человек,
there are
что к
so
нему все
many people around
подходят,
him, and all came to him,
улыбаются.
and people were
И только я
smiling.
потом узнала, что
And
это
later
был
on,
святой
I
Geshe Michael Roach.
recognized that it
Представляете?
was this person was the
И
Venerable
сейчас я так,
Sumati, you know.
не знаю,
And
Катрин, я
now
тебя не
I'm
слышу, слушатели тебя другие. И сейчас я так рада вообще,
I'm
что
so
я прохожу
happy
обучение у
that I
него.
study
Это высший
from
пилотаж.
him.
А еще
It's
знаете,
like
я так
amazing.
радуюсь, я
And I'm so
тот же
happy
ретрит,
that at
я
that
была, там была
retreat
книжка
I bought a book
«Щенок и ручка».
which called
И она была за
Puppy and a
donation.
Pen,
И я
and it
тоже ее
was for
взяла
donation.
и
And I
читаю
bought
его.
it,
Так
and I'm reading
интересно,
it,
и так мне все
and I'm
понятно. А кто же ее написал?
so interested in
А
it.
потом мне
And
рассказывают,
I
что
was,
так
and
вот
somebody told
супруга
me,
Сумати. Я
oh,
говорю,
it
как бы
was
ее
a
увидеть?
wife of
И сидит
Venerable
такая красивая
Sumati,
женщина в
and I
белой
was
одежде, с
dreaming of
такими
how
белыми
can I meet her.
волосами.
And
Я так
I've seen the
почувствовала эмоции. Она
beautiful
говорит, так это
lady
же
with
его
gray
супруга, вот она книжку
hair.
написала.
And somebody
И
said,
я, вы
his
знаете, у меня
wife, and she
настолько
wrote the book.
с того ретрита изменилась жизнь.
And at that moment,
Я
my
приехала
life
тогда на
changed
ретрит в состоянии
so
развода,
tremendously. At that moment,
а
I
сейчас мы
was
обратились
at a retreat
очень
with I
репродукционный
was in
центр.
divorce process, and now
В
we
общем, и на
came
днях я
to a
тут
reproduction center
выслушивала
where we
кому-то
can
какие-то претензии в мой адрес,
get
и я молчала
a child.
так же,
I've
как мне
heard
рассказывали
as
про мужа,
my
двух
husband
мужей.
yelled at me, and I
И
did
все так
the same what
изменилось.
was in
И я
the
очень
teaching about
счастлива, что
yelling
есть
husband in the
возможность
kitchen.
обучаться.
And I'm so
Прям
happy
благодарю вас.
that I
Вообще
can
такое
study, learn
волшебство
from
происходит в
you,
жизни.
and it's just
Спасибо
magic
большое и
thing
предвкушаю,
happening.
конечно,
And I admire
Аризону,
so
читаю
much
каждый день
this,
вообще
and
за
I
счастье,
count days
что всех
when I
увижу
can
напрямую.
come
Благодарю
back
вас
to
большое,
Arizona
что
and
даете
give
мне
a hug
возможность
to
обучаться у
everyone.
вас, Сумати.
Thank you so much, Venerable Sumati, for giving an opportunity to learn from you.
Well, you're welcome. What can I say? Well, I'm glad to know that what we said and done is of interest to you, and I look forward to seeing you again in Arizona. Maybe one of these days I'll make it to Russia, although I'm not holding my breath. Maybe we can get back to Armenia or Turkey or something. That would be nice. And yes, the Puppy Pen and Chew Toy book that's available in Russian now? Oh, great, great. Yes, that's quite a little endeavor on her part. I'm the writer in the family, and I tried to give her some tips, and she wasn't interested in listening to my version of how to write a book. So, but anyway, okay, who's next? Let's see. Oksana, what do you have to rejoice in?
Здравствуйте. Радуюсь, что вас сегодня вижу прямо вообще.
Hello, I'm so happy that I can see you. I was jumping in at 7 p.m. and I was just, where is my lovely teacher? I'm rejoicing that today I helped people to get a job. I'm working with HR, and I brought people to this job. I gave them job, and I'm happy and dedicated to my connection with people. And I realized that I don't rejoice a lot about other people are doing something great. I realized that I don't rejoice like as it should be done. And I decided that no, I will be rejoicing more and more and more.
Good.
That's
yes,
it.
we get. I don't quite personally understand how rejoicing in someone else's good brings me any merit. I cannot figure that out, but it does. And so, yes, please rejoice in others' success. And it also helps break the bonds of jealousy. If you see everything ripening as your karma, then it makes it make more sense to rejoice in you having the karma to see people succeeding. Maybe that's really what it's all about. So, okay, who's left on the list here? Anna.
Да, спасибо.
Hello, dear Venerable Sumati. Hello, everyone, for possibility to speak about my rejoicing. If I mentioned before, I decided to do yoga challenge, 30 days yoga challenge, and today is the day number 29, and I'm still in. I'm very glad that I stick with yoga classes, and I really hope that yoga will be more often in my life. Thank you. I hope I'm creating a good habit for me. Thank you.
Oh, good for you. I must admit, yoga is, well, it's difficult to do when you have no balance and you shake all the time, but so I don't do much yoga anymore. I wanted to make sure I to speak a little bit more about rejoicing in others' goodness. It's your karma ripening to see them doing good deeds. And you'll see more and more of them as you rejoice more and more, and as you flush out and purify your jealousy or things like that. So how it actually brings us merit, I think in rejoicing with other people's goodness frees you from the jealousy that you used to have. And in that sense, you're getting merit. But I still they talk about percentages of merit, and I'm still thinking about that. But okay, who's left? I guess it's me. Oh, Svetlana, did we do? We did?
Yeah,
Well,
only Lobsang Kadrin. Yeah, and
well, Lobsang Katrine, what do you have to rejoice in?
I can speak in English channel. If somebody would like to hear me, then you should go to English channel, and I will. I don't know if somebody recognizes this. There is an English channel. So yeah, I rejoice that I'm taking care of old person. Not old really, but very sick. He has cancer. He had stroke. He had diabetes. So a lot of wonderful things, and I take care of him a lot. And it was my plan to take care of somebody who needs help. And it's ripened through this person, and it's like uh, it's my job now, and I'm very, very happy that I can take care of him. And it doesn't matter how it's gonna be with him, but I do my best to save his life, to make him live longer and in best condition. And I'm very happy that I can do that. And I hope that my uh, capacity will grow out of that, my capacity to help others. Thank you.
Yeah, very good. That's an excellent practice. I'm reaching that point in with my disease that I'm needing more and more help, but I'm resistant to it. And so I've been doing small projects lately that are really pretty trivial back compared to what I was able to do in the past. But I had some success yesterday, and that was, quite a nice feeling of accomplishment for something that was pretty trivial. But making someone's life easier, such as you are, but even just being a companion is a wonderful way to set the seeds for you to be taken care of in the future. And believe me, when you didn't think when you were getting old you'd have, I never thought I'd get old any other way than being physically fit and able to do things. And all of a sudden, well, over a 2 or 3 year period, that changed into me needing more help. And that's something I was always giving the help. So having the opportunity to accept help is a practice in itself for me. And I'm getting better at it. Okay. Oh, so my rejoicing. I rejoice that my wife and I have the karmic seeds ripening to have Mike be able to take care of our house for us when we were gone to Mexico a week ago. It's really a very, but it's a wonderful feeling to know that someone's in your house taking care of it for you, and especially in the monsoon season. So thanks again, Mike. And I thank my karma for having helped others in the past is ripening now. And rather than just be complacent and say, that's all, I need to continue helping people so that I will have similar things happening in my life. We went to Mexico, to Hermosillo, a wonderful town. I guess I shouldn't say town, city, and where did I put that? That'd be in northwestern Mexico. Our host was a student of both mine and my lovely wife. She adores my lovely wife, so it's nice to be on the tail end of that. We just had a good time. We got a permanent resident visa in one day. That you can take as many as 20 days to get that document. it turned out the lady who gave us who granted us a document was the head of the office. We were sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. And then this lady came out and opened up her cubicle and motioned for people to come in. And we were like the third people in. And it turns out she was the head of the office. So we got everything done and we wanted to take a picture of her with the three of us. And she said, no, no. And we thought, oh, we can't take a picture of her. She motioned us in, so we went on the other side of the security gate, and she motioned for us to get on either side of the Mexican flag. And so we have a nice picture of us getting our documentation with the flag in between us. And I think that's auspicious. I think that means we are going to be in Mexico to some degree. So, Katya, the pressure's on for you to make your neck of the woods be more enticing than Hermosillo. So, okay, what else was there? That's about it. Oh, I have something else. My wife has been invited to go to Malaysia and be on the Malaysian end of the teachings that are going to be done in Phoenix. And so we've been trying to figure out dates and things, and she's going to end up being gone for about 10 days. And so that's going to be a challenge for me. I still do lots of stuff around the house, but she's always there in case I need help. So I'm going to need to figure out a way to take care of that. But I think that's a good thing because it's going to allow me to see how independent I am or I'm not. So we will see. Okay, class. Let's see. So this is class 8, Introduction to the Steps of the Path. Now we've been doing a lot of, if you've been to the teachings, we're in the teachings in Armenia or Romania. We were teaching the steps of the path, source of all my good. Or if you attended one of the weekend retreat we did on 3 principal paths. So why start up again on the steps? So they're a summation of the steps necessary to reach Buddhahood. And as you may have known, Tisha revived them, and we study mainly Tisha's comments on the source of all my good and 3 principal paths. But it turns out Jizang Kapa wrote a small version of another version of the steps on the path based on his personal experience. So we've been studying ethical discipline out of a motivation for renunciation to get out of this samsaric world. But it's important to check back in on the details of the path to see where we are and where we have to go. It's easy to get complacent. You say, well, I'm doing pretty well with my vows, so I don't really have to think about helping other people or something of that kind of logic. And that's why checking in on the steps of the path allow you to really do a better job of seeing where you are along the path. That's why I recommend memorizing the source of all my good or the 3 principal paths, because that allows you throughout the day to check in with where you are on the Lam Rim. I like this analogy. Lord Buddha's teachings are like a car engine. They're made up of many, many parts, some more important than others, but without all the parts of the engine, it will not run smoothly, if at all. So you can't just focus on Tonglen. That's a great practice, but you need to put into the perspective of what else you're practicing and practice it all well. I think it's one of the problems beginning students have, I think, with Buddhism is they want to practice it all right away. And so they go to teaching after teaching on different aspects of the path. And they have so many practices that they want to do, they don't do any of them well. And so the key to me is to find a practice and really do it well. So pick the source of all my good, one of my favorite subjects. Pick the source of all my good, read Geshe's and Geshe Lobsang Tarchen, Khenchen Rinpoche. Read that book and really put into practice. And I think you'll find that you're covering a lot of the territory in this one particular teaching. And that gives you a ground to work from. And the other feature of the Lamrim teachings is that it contains all parts of Buddhism. And how can you possibly fit all that information into one 14 stanza or verse teaching from Tsongkhapa? Well, that's why you need to take a teaching about the subject, because it decodes a lot of what's in the verses that you wouldn't normally get if you just read it without studying a commentary on it. So the resources for the next 3 classes are Je Nyamgir, The Song of My Spiritual Life by Tsongkhapa. It's his first and only relation of his practice, his spiritual life, throughout all his teachings. It's also known as the Lamrim Dudun, the short step book on the steps of the path. He wrote the 1,000-page Lamrim Chenmo. We've studied 2 very short Lamrims, The Source of All My Good and the 3 Principal Paths, also written by him. The Song of My Spiritual Life is hard to understand, so we'll be using a commentary, the brief illumination of the essence, written by Choni Lama Drapa Shedra, who was very instrumental in the various texts that are used in the monasteries. Tsongkhapa starts by bowing down to Lord Manjushri, whom he met and learned directly from through emanations. I bow down to my teacher, gentle voice. He goes on to honor the lineage of the teaching. It's an important point that I think most of us don't really think about. Geshe's whole point in making the ACI courses, his entire point was, well, there are 2, was to educate us in all aspects of Buddhist philosophy, logic, etc., and to lay the groundwork for us to become teachers. And the reason teaching is so important is because this concept of breaking the lineage, any lineage, is what's going to allow Buddhism to die. So by taking the 18, well, I never thought I'd be teaching Buddhist philosophy, but by taking the 18 courses, the 15 and then the 3 review, it gave me the information I needed and the structure to what I needed so that I could go and teach. My first teaching was the review classes, which back in the day you had to do in person. You could take the 1 through 15 via cassettes. That's how we first got it, cassette tapes. But you have to take the final 3 in person, which was difficult. But they were building Diamond Mountain, the retreat area for Geshe's first 3-year retreat. And so we were fortunate. We didn't have to travel very far to take the 3 review courses. But now you can do it via the internet. Okay. So the lineage. First in the lineage is Shakyatupa, the capable one of the Sakya clan, Gautama Buddha. Lord Buddha knows the words to help and every being, to help each and every being reach nirvana and paradise. And he has the power to emanate to help us. To have Lord Buddha in our lives is a reflection of a behavior in previous lives. I'm always saying, your past is your present is your future. Just having a human body says we've done some very virtuous things. We don't really think of that when I think we should. We should rejoice in having a human body and the capacity to learn this material. Being a human in a Dharma class means we were someone who was extraordinarily virtuous. If Dharma is easy to understand and act upon, if it speaks to your heart, you're even more virtuous. So put yourself in the perspective of we have access to all this information that must have come from something we did in the past. So what did we do in the past to make this material available in the present? Did you help someone with the Dharma? That's possible. Did you help somebody learn something new? Did you help people get to where they wanted to go? The subtle things and subtle aspects of karma, I think, would be fascinating to go back and look and see what did you do in a past life to make the Dharma appear in this life? Maybe you helped someone learn a new language. Maybe you helped them get a new job, which opened the world up to them in many ways. Don't think of it having to just be teaching the Dharma. It's reflect on what the Dharma means to you and then see how that could have been addressed in a past life. To me, the Dharma explains this suffering world so completely to me. It's my fault. It's my better yet, it's my responsibility. And because of that, I need to react with wisdom. So I must have taught or showed by example to others in previous lives how to treat other people. Okay, so the next person in the lineage is Jampa, Lord Maitreya. He mainly taught love, which was regarded as a widespread behavior by him, spending your entire life thinking about and helping others. Caring only for others automatically makes you happy, and he is said to be the next Buddha on earth. Caring only for others automatically makes you happy. But you have to do that without a sense of regret. Helping others and saying to yourself, oh, I've got to go to the old folks' home and help that elderly person who needs help eating, versus saying, I get to go to the old folks' home and I get to help that person enjoy a meal. Wow, what an opportunity. And I think if you catch yourself, it's awfully easy to have in the back of your mind, which is still movement of the mind, that little thought of, oh, I could be doing something else. And that's where I was so fortunate at Diamond Mountain to be operating that facility for Geshe Michael Lama Christie. I constantly was thinking of the wonderful opportunity it represented and how fortunate I was to be working in an environment that was a constant reminder, positive reminder. Then Manjushri, gentle voice. He taught the wisdom, the vision of emptiness. Now, this can be a little confusing because if you down the road in the courses, you'll find out that we talk about whether they were the next Buddhas in his Buddha paradise, or was he a bodhisattva taking teachings from Lord Buddha, or were they bodhisattvas taking teachings from Lord Buddha? The secret teachings, the tantric teachings, say they were already Buddhas and they masqueraded as students of Lord Buddha, asking questions to help the mere mortal of us taking the classes to understand. To some people, that would seem silly. Those outside of the Dharma would think that is silly. How can they possibly be emanations helping us? But see, that's the beauty of, to me, the beauty of Buddhism is anything's possible because it's due to your karma ripening. So if you've been very helpful for somebody else to the point of inspiring them to study Buddhism in a past life, you're going to have people such as Geshe Michael, the students taking the mixed nuts courses, all the teachers of ACI. You're going to have those opportunities. So it really means, I just can't emphasize, the past is your present. You don't know what you did in the past. All I can say is I must have done something virtuous because I've been exposed to such beautiful writing and the capability of teaching it. But if I want this to happen in the future, you really need to teach. So my next step in the evolution was to teach. So I really urge all of you to take the 18 courses in sequence, if at all possible. Do the homeworks and quizzes, do the final, turn it in, because it's going to be much more, well, I shouldn't say this, how can I put it? If you have students that want to learn to teach, and be able to say they're an ACI teacher, you have to do the homeworks, quizzes, and final and get the certificates. There's no way around that. Now, if you don't care whether you're a certified teacher, you can just teach on your own. But if you have students that are interested in becoming teachers, which hopefully you would, they need to be taught by a certified ACI teacher, which means you have to become a certified ACI teacher. That's really the entire point of the ACI courses. So all Buddhism boils down to two things. Lord Maitreya taught the Bodhisattva ideal. Basically, I will spend every moment of my life forever trying to make others happy, totally forgetting about myself, to think only about others. Caring for others brings automatic happiness. It is totally unnatural. We have to learn why and how to do it. It's like being Santa Claus all year long. Lord Manjushri taught the vision of wisdom, emptiness, the direct perception of emptiness, and how crucial it is to understanding the why of things, which is necessary to really change our behavior. The why and the how. That's another thing that we must be thinking about constantly. next? Neither the Bodhisattva ideal or the vision of wisdom alone will bring total enlightenment. Each is like the wings of a bird. You need both to fly. Then there are beings that are not Buddhas who were born in this world with the karma to have the job to explain what these enlightened beings said when they taught. They're Shing Te Solje. The inventor of the horse-drawn carriage is a metaphor we use for the two great commentators of Lord Buddha's sutras. And the reason for that is, like the horse-drawn carriage invention, which is a simple but elegant device in ancient India, it allows so much more to be done. It's so critical, something so simple as the horse-drawn carriage. And Asanga and Nagarjuna are like the horse-drawn carriage in that their ability to present the information in the sutras was innovative and useful to a huge number of people, just as important as the horse-drawn carriage. Arya Asanga, born around 350 AD, taught mainly bodhisattva behavior, as dictated to him by Lord Maitreya. He transmitted the teachings to Atisha through Srilingpa. Nagarjuna, 200 AD, taught mainly the view of emptiness, dictated by Manjushri. He transmitted the teachings to Atisha through Vidya Kaila. That's the first time I heard of his or her name. Then there was Lord Atisha. He wrote The Lamp on the Path, the first Lam Rim book, which systematically combined the lineage of teachings on Buddhist activity and wisdom. Then the subsequent lamas in our lineage. This is quite a list. This is a good list for you to memorize, actually. It was Geshe Michael. He learned from Ken Rinpoche, who learned from Trijang Rinpoche, who learned from Pabonka Rinpoche, who learned from the second Panchen Lama, Lama Yeshe, the great fifth of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Lobsang Gyatso, the first Panchen Lama, Chukyi Gyaltsen, the third Dalai Lama, Sunam Gyatso, Gyaltsab Je, Kedrub Je, and finally Je Tsongkhapa. There are prophecies in the sutras that say that Buddhism will continue for another 2,500 years for Western people. We're a conduit to pass on the teachings to others perfectly, purely, and clearly. But in order to do that, we need to, in our lineage, we need to complete the 18 courses. All these teachings are dense and hard to decipher. And we're blessed to have commentaries such as Brief Illumination of the Essence, coupled with teachers such as Geshe Michael, so we can begin to understand Tsongkhapa's teachings and spread them to the world. The Brief Illumination of the Essence by Chone Lanish Drapa Shedra emphasizes the importance of the unbroken lineage of bodhisattva behavior and wisdom. This lineage is a fragile thing which can only be transferred from teacher to student and not through books alone. If you study only a brief summary of the Lam Rim, you'll have basically covered all 3,500 works of the Kagyu and Tengyur. We must continue this lineage and pass it along purely. As I've said, the whole point of the ACI courses and teaching program was to do just that. So now a little more about the Song of Spiritual Life, of My Spiritual Life by Geshe Michael. Next, he's told us the lineage. Now we're going to pay homage to the members of the lineage. So Lord Buddha, whose body is produced by millions of virtues, whose speech fulfills the hopes of beings by teaching them, whose mind sees the true nature of all knowable things. This is his homage. Your holy body was birthed by billions of perfect good deeds. Your holy words fulfill the hopes of infinite living beings. Your holy mind sees all things in the universe exactly as they are. I touch my head to the feet of that leader of the Sakya clan. Then Lord Maitreya and Manjushri. I bow down to the unforgettable and to gentle voice. So that's Lord Maitreya and Manjushri, the two highest children of the matchless teacher, who took upon themselves the heavy load of all the victor's deeds, engaging in the divine play with emanations sent to countless different realms. Then there are the innovators, Master Sangha and Master Nagarjuna. I prostrate at the holy feet of those known as Nagarjuna and Sangha, so widely famed through the three realms. You are true jewels of our world who undertook to comment in a perfectly accurate way upon the pure thought of the Mother Sutras of the victors, so extremely difficult to fathom. Then there's Lord Atisha. I bow down to Tripanvikara. I haven't heard that before either. Anyway, maker of lamps, who holds a great treasure of advices which incorporate unerringly each and every one of the essential points of the path of the profound view and the widespread activities, descended so perfectly from the two great innovators. And lastly, our spiritual friends. I bow down to all those spiritual friends who utilize a variety of skillful means to clarify these teachings, moved by their love. They are eyes to view all the myriad forms of the high teachings, the very highest points of entry for those of sufficient goodness to take the journey to freedom. So there are four special qualities of the Lamrim teachings that we need to go over. First, you realize that all the teachings are free of any consistency. You realize that some incredible genius is set up to choose system with all that all fits together perfectly. Although the different schools, Buddhist schools, present disparate views from one another based on the capacity of their students, all the students are perfectly willing resource to help people reach enlightenment. So when we talk about the Buddhist schools, we need to remember it's easy to think of them as lower schools, lower capacity and stuff. And as we're going to see in the next couple of classes, and as we've seen already, it's wrong to think of them as lower schools. I've tried to come up with a single word, but really what you should be thinking, excuse me, what you should be thinking of the lower schools is lower and lesser. Say we don't have what's a good word doesn't have a negative connotation of lower and lesser? Beginning, start. Maybe start's a good one. We start our Buddhist practice by taking refuge. That gives us the foundation from which to build everything else. If you follow the teachings through the conclusion of the courses, you'll find that what appear to be contradictions are actually not when they're explained fully in the rest of the text. So if you ever find, well, I'm jumping ahead. Every teaching strikes you as personal advice. If you stop and think Lord Buddha wrote all this 2,500 years ago, 2,500? 2,500 years from now, and the fact that each and every contemplation and meditation relate to each other in every sense of all the Buddha's teachings, if you're connecting with your Lama and really practicing Lam Rim. So how could someone 2,500 years ago know what I, Sumati Stumpf, need at this present moment? I don't have an answer to that, except that he does, and has provided me with many answers. Easily grasp the content of the Buddhas and their teachings. You will come to understand why the Buddha taught every specific point and why they are all necessary part of the Lam Rim. You realize that Lord Buddha taught logic when he taught it for a reason and not to wonder how it fits with compassion and emptiness. Logic provides us with a very important fact that we need to remind ourselves constantly. We cannot know another person's mind unless we are totally enlightened, and so we should not spend so much time judging others. The last of the special qualities that saves you from the great abyss. You'll avoid the great mistake of outrightly rejecting one of the teachings. This doesn't mean you should blindly accept a point when you don't believe it right now. Rather than you should set it aside and come to the point when you have other teachings. There's one offering we get at Seishu often, and it's hard to describe, but it's a white, almost a shaving off of something. Excuse me. And I'm trying to identify it. Oh, speaking of identifying things, Katja, I've got a question for you. Roxana gave us a block of something called, well, I just pronounced it, 8 de membria.
Yes, membrillo.
Yeah, what is that?
I really don't know, but it's like really sweet. It's like a pulp of a fruit.
Okay, so do we spread it on the tortilla? I mean, do you eat by spoonful?
Yeah, you can put. It's like
Like
jam.
jam?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. We have a block of it and we have no idea. It's made from quince.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what quince tastes like. Oh, I figured out some, speaking of taste and the fact that I don't have any, I figured out sometimes I can almost smell something. And that doesn't make sense to most people because you either smell something or you don't. But for instance, basil, the aromatic tones that are basil are composed of probably over 100 components. And so when I can almost smell basil, I'm smelling many of those components, but I'm not smelling the one that makes it basil. There's one component, I don't know which one it is, there's some organic molecule that if you just smelled that alone, you'd say basil, but you'd say, well, there's something missing because of all it's like a fingerprint. So how to get a sight on, no, talking about membrio. Okay. It's dangerous karmically to make the mistake of outright rejection, thinking something is superfluous or incorrect without really investigating it further. Someday on the path of preparation, we will reach a point where we'll remember every teaching we ever received, and we'll see how this all fits together. That's what the review courses are so very good at doing. There are 3 review courses, and each of them summarizes, puts into perspective 5 of the 15 courses. And it's really incredibly put together by Geshe. So there's one last question on the homework, which I didn't find very well described in the answer key or the lecture notes. Because this teaching fulfills every desire of many kinds of people who seek freedom, it is like the wish-fulfilling jewel, which grants your every wish. It can fulfill your wishes because if you practice its true meaning, you will achieve higher birth and definite good. Okay, I don't think I have anything more. Nope, that's it. Okay, well, I'm kind of short class, but that's all I've got for today. Thursday, we'll be starting a more detailed review of the long rim. And so for some of you, this is going to be like, I just covered long rim. Why do I have to take it again? Well, because you have to. And 2, because it never hurts to go over the details of the Buddhist teachings, the logic behind the layout of it. If you jumped into, when we first started studying the ACI courses, we took course 14, which was Lojong. And there was so much that we didn't know because we didn't take them in sequence that didn't make much sense for class 14, course 14. And then when we went back and took the courses in order, then it made all kinds of sense. So let's dedicate what we've done today. O Gurus, Buddhas, please listen to what I now say. Just as all the previous Sugatas generated the mind of enlightenment and practiced in accordance with Bodhisattva precepts, so shall I too, in order to benefit all that live, give birth to bodhicitta and follow its precepts. In all my lives, may I never live apart from my perfect lamas. May I bask in the glory of the Dharma. May I fulfill perfectly every level and path and reach then quickly the place where I become myself, the one who holds the diamond. Okay, thank you for the opportunity to teach. Look forward to seeing you all on Thursday. Have a good weekend. Is Ina, is that the correct pronunciation, Ina? Good to have you in class. And hope to see you again soon. Okay. What's going on here? There we go. Okay. Bye-bye.
Спасибо. Светик, мой